Well, Mr. Bayless, it's good to have you back in the city.
It's good to be back.
We had a ball in Canastota.
Yes, sir.
You know
yes,
something?
sir.
And what's so great about it is that little town just comes alive
Yes.
during, induction weekend. And it was so much fun, being back there. But more than anything, it was just great to see you finally get your due, because no one deserved to be in that hall more than you.
Thank you.
Welcome back home.
Thank you. It was people that I told about Canastota, and I said, if you go, you're going to have the best time of your life. And I had such a good time, more than what I expected. And I've been going there since 2009.
Yeah.
And the big difference, obviously, was that I was being inducted. But I give my wife some credit for what she did as far as putting that banquet together. Well, not actually the banquet, but the people that were invited to come.
Yeah.
And the private set that she did was great. And between that, all the interaction, it was one of the best times of my life.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. And you know what? The great thing about it is they give you this big piece of jewelry you got on your finger there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You want to show me that?
Yes, sir.
Can I shake hands with you?
Yes, sir.
Can
Don't squeeze too hard.
Oh, yeah. It's good to have you back home, partner.
Oh, thank you.
Really appreciate you being back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Glad to be back. Yeah.
Now, while we were in Canastota, one of the guys that normally, officiates there was supposed to be doing a fight I think it was down in Virginia, Norfolk. But the reason why I bring that up is there was a fight there that was supposed to take place. Keyshawn Davis was supposed to go down and was supposed to defend his title. And from what I understand, he didn't make weight. He was overweight by almost 4.3. Well, I know it was almost 5 pounds.
Almost 5 pounds.
And all I can say is that, that's so irresponsible at that level. You're fighting for a championship. You know in advance when the fight is going to be. You know the title that you're fighting for. You know what weight you're supposed to come in at. You got more than enough time to do it. You understand that it's a business. I mean, it's a sport, but it's a business too. It's a job.
Yes.
And, and as a boxer, you have a responsibility to do your job. It's just no excuse for not making weight. And I mean, it's just, I think it's a disservice to the sport. It's a disservice to the sport. It's a disservice to the paying public who wants to come and see the fight.
When you sign that contract, that should top it off from that point on when you sign, because this is the real deal. And when we go back into boxing history, has it happened before? Yes, it has.
Yeah.
I believe Diego Corrales, when he was fighting Casamayor, I think he was overweight. Mm-hmm. And it just changes the whole complexity of the event, because now if it's just 1 pound or a half a pound, the fighter may be able to go and jog it off, because the commissioners usually give you a round.
Yeah,
an hour.
Right.
But if in this case, 4 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are you gonna get rid of that?
Yeah.
So it does a disservice to the promoter because of all the money he spent in promoting the fight.
Yep. Yep.
Usually, depending upon the contract, a fighter can be fined for not making weight, and it just throws too many negatives into a fight that just should take place because you should make weight.
Right. Well, and the thing about it is, like you said, there's a contract. You contracted to do this, and that happens well in advance of the fight.
Yes.
And so, and you do yourself a disservice, you do the sport a disservice. And that's the part that really angers me. Yeah. That, the sport that's been so good to you, you do that disservice. It's irresponsible.
Yes.
It's not professional. And, and you're a professional.
Yes.
You're a professional boxer. That's what you do. That's what your job is. You ought to take that serious.
You ought to take it serious. And what happens next? I mean, if I was a promoter and I've lost all this money now because you came in overweight, how am I going to feel about that when it comes to having you fight on one of my fight cards now?
Yeah.
And not only that, other promoters. I mean, that puts a dark mark on your credibility,
right?
If you can't come in on weight.
Yeah. And to make matters worse, after the fight, after all of this went down, back in the back, after the fight, he gets into a fight with a bunch of people in the back, after the fight was all over with. And I'm saying, it wasn't bad enough that you caused all of this up front. Yes. Now you get involved in a little altercation in the back. Just not professional all the way around.
It's not professional all the way around. And I don't know about the lightweight division. I did a little research, and of all the fights or fighters that did not make weight, it appears that the lightweight division is the division that has more fighters not making weight.
Yeah.
The lightweight division. Huh. And it's sad. I mean, you have to know with time and age how your body's developing.
Yeah.
If I believe Keyshawn made the comment and said his fight before this fight was tough for him to make weight. Well, if it was tough for you to make weight then you know it's going to be even tougher on your next fight. So either you move up on weight and just in that weight that you know is going to be tough to make so you can continue on with your career.
Yeah.
But this is a setback for him.
It's definitely a setback, and his reputation has been tarnished. It's going to be a tall climb to get back.
Yes.
If he does get back, and he's going to be fighting for a lot less money. Than he would have been fighting.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Just bad all the way around.
It's bad all the way around. And the last note was we were in Canastota, and Mark Nelson was the referee.
Yeah.
That worked at the Turning Stone the night before. He was flying out Friday night and wasn't going to be a part of our team on the chat talk at the fairgrounds.
Right.
But he told me that he got a call from Top Rank that said that Keyshawn didn't make weight. And so that's a payday that he misses out on.
Yeah. Well, there's this young man, Abdullah Mason.
Yes.
And I think he's the real deal, to tell you the truth. Yeah. He fought here in Vegas not too long ago. It was a heck of a fight. And he was on that card, I think, down there in Virginia. And he made up for it. He made up for all of the drama behind Keyshawn. This kid made up for it because he's the real deal.
He is the real deal. And I give kudos to referee Chris Flores for refereeing the fight.
Mm-hmm.
This Mason has got a jab. It's like a piston. And it's he's going to be a tough one to beat down the road.
Yeah.
Now, I always like to see fighters get into a real tough scuffle to show that in times of danger, what you're capable of doing.
Yeah.
And this kid, I believe, have that.
Yeah.
I believe he had it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially when he steps up to a little more stiffer competition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what we're all going to wait now from that fight, because he looked so well. He looked so pure in everything that he did.
Yeah. I mean, he, like you said, boxing is about giving and take.
Yes.
And this kid, what I've noticed is he's a heck of a counter puncher. You know, if you come, he come right back at you. You know, and when he comes, he's coming tough. And he's the real deal. I mean, he's a southpaw. He's very strong, powerful puncher. Man. He has some very good wins over Benitez and Oliveras. He uses good footwork to get himself in position and throw his punches.
Yes.
He just broke this kid down.
Yeah.
He broke him down, opened that cut over his eye.
Yes.
And that caused the referee, and you might want to talk about that, the referee, because the kid was saying when the doctor examined that, but what the kid said was, I can't see. So when that happens, what?
Well, Chris stopped it because of the cut. Now, initially, I didn't see blood that would
coming in his eye.
Coming in his eye. But for safety reasons, Chris took him over. The doctor climbed up, and I could hear, and I don't know if the fighter said it first, that I can't see. But when Chris said, then Chris said it. You can't see, or you can't see. And then at that point, Chris waved it off. Now, the interesting part for me was when the announcer announced it. I don't know if you caught it or not. The announcer said the fight was stopped in the 5th round, 1 second in the 5th round. Now, when Chris first, when the cut came and when Chris first stopped it and took the fighter over, he didn't call timeout initially. Now, the clapper had went off. So you knew there was 10 seconds left. I think that the timekeeper let the clock run to the 3 minutes. So for the announcer to say in the 5th round, 1 second in the 5th round, I believe that's what happened.
Yeah,
that's what happened. But other than I personally don't think that the fighter wanted to continue, and or at least to me, he didn't show enough energy and eagerness to say, and we've seen it coming and going. And he was, I think he'd had enough at
and
that point.
just for the people out there who watch the fights, anytime that a fighter says to the referee or to the doctor, I can't see, what he's really saying is, I can't intelligently now defend myself.
Right.
And if you can't intelligently defend yourself, no referee is going to allow you to continue.
Right. This Brit, Sam Noakes, who is 17-0, who has the WBO belt.
This kid got the fight because Keyshawn Davis didn't. Yeah, Keyshawn Davis didn't fight.
Right.
Or he didn't make weight, and therefore there wasn't fight. Therefore, this kid now will get an opportunity.
Oh yes, yes.
He'll get an opportunity to fight for the title.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because of Davis not making weight.
Right. Right.
This kid got the opportunity, and you know, as well as anyone else, that whenever your number is called, you better be ready.
That's right. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. This kid, Noakes, he might not be really, in my opinion, on the same level with Mason. But I think that if they do fight, it could be a pretty competitive fight because both of them, from what I've seen of the two, they're both power punchers and they punch in combination.
Right.
And Mason does that and he does it very well.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So he might be a competitive fight. Yeah, I think it could be a competitive fight.
Yeah. Well, that's what the fans are always looking for, and we've talked about that.
Thank you.
When it's all said and done, if it's competitive, that's 90% of the fight.
Yeah. And you know, Kenny, lately these fights over the past weekend, from what I've seen and over the past couple of weeks actually, that's what we've seen. We've seen fights that were competitive. And what has been my experience that's really what people want to see.
Yes.
You know, even if their fighter doesn't win, was the fight competitive? Were they tested? Did they meet the test, stand the test?
Yes.
That's what people want to see because that's what they paid for.
Yes.
They paid money to see a competitive fight.
Yes.
And thank God that it looks like boxing is moving back in that direction.
Yes.
We're starting to see fights that are competitive, and that's what people want to see.
We have to start giving kudos to the trainers because the trainers are the ones that are developing these athletes. The athletes obviously are the ones that have to take what the trainer is doing and providing for them to be as skilled and with their athletic ability to get in the ring and perform the way they do. So, So it works hand in hand.
Yeah, I agree. Now, there was another fight, and this fight really brings to mind or says to me that most of the best or the great heavyweights right now, the big heavyweights right now, the good heavyweights right now, they're in Europe. They're not in the United States, which sad. That's pretty sad, but the fact is, most of the big heavyweights are all in Europe.
Yes.
You know,
yes, they are. And I'll add this. A few years ago, the WBC had started doing a little campaign on trying to get heavyweights, trying to bring it back in the States. Because like you said, in Europe and different other countries, heavyweight, I mean, these countries don't have football like we got. They may have soccer, but they don't have football. And a lot of our heavyweights or bigger athletes are going to football or possibly basketball. So we kind of miss out.
Yeah.
on converting them into to boxing. So the attention and the draw is in Europe.
Yeah.
In that direction.
Yeah. They had a fight in Europe this weekend between a fellow by the name of Fabio Wardley and Hooney. And whew, what a fight.
What a fight.
I mean,
Yes,
these
sir.
guys were throwing down. They were doing, and it just proves what I've been saying, that the young heavyweights coming up in Europe, that's where they are. They're not here in the United States. They're over there in Europe. This was a fight that was, I mean, they were throwing down. Now, I think that Wardley was he was winning the fight for the most of the fight. But what it said, and the thing that's so wonderful about heavyweights, one punch can change everything.
Change everything.
And that's what we saw. I mean, when he clipped that dude, and then I think it was like 10th round.
Yes, it was.
Happened, and it just says that in a heavyweight fight, and I think that's what's so wonderful about heavyweights, is one punch can turn everything around. We saw it.
And for me, I thought that Hooney was one of the first early rounds, maybe 1, 2, and possibly 3. But then Wardley came back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and like you said, these guys were throwing power punches. And I thought that Hooney started in rounds 8 and 9. I mean, the rounds were close.
Yeah.
With the power punches that were thrown. But that punch that he dropped him with, man, it was like, you don't really want to try to continue after that because of what they was throwing and the power, the exchange of nutrition. I mean, it was all there.
But the sad thing is that there was a lot of conversation about, well, the referee stopped that fight too soon.
Right.
Well, we've been in the ring.
Yes.
And we've seen what can happen with one punch.
Yes.
When it's delivered the way that punch was delivered.
Yes.
And the way he went down.
Yes.
And that's one thing for all you folks out there.
Yeah.
One of the things that we're doing as a referee when there's a knockdown, we're counting, but during that count, what we're actually doing is evaluating all the way up until 8, till that person gets to his feet. If they can get to their feet, we're constantly evaluating during the course of that count to see if this person can continue.
Yes.
And if they can continue, or if they can't continue, sometimes we got to save them from themselves.
That's right. And he was being saved from himself because there was no point, in my opinion, to say, are you okay? Because that's usually what I do. And if they answer it, I take a step back and I say, come to me. And if they come to me, then I ask, give me your gloves. So I've done 3 things to, in my mind, to decide if I'm going to let it continue or not. But letting this guy continue would be like throwing gasoline on him and striking a match and just saying, hey, what you got?
Yeah.
He just didn't have it.
Right. And the thing about it is, like, sometimes we have to save the fighter from himself. And we know it's a damaged sport. Yeah. You're going to get damaged. You're going to take some damage.
Yes.
But our job is to ensure that you don't take unnecessary damage.
Right.
And that, in this fight, to allow him to take several more punches after what we had saw, would not have been in the best interest of the fighter.
And I always say, Pat Russell said this to me a few years ago, we can let them swim out to deep waters, but we can't let them drown out there.
I like that. I like that.
Yep. Usyk versus Dubois. What a fight that was. Again, heavyweights. They both was going to leave it in the ring. Both of them were, I mean, in my opinion, it was a evenly matched fight, even up until Usyk went down. And maybe you want to explain where the line is for low blows or not.
Well,
because it can vary, and I believe we may have talked about low blows on the earlier session. We haven't gotten into low blows and what we've discussed that we'll do later on in our episodes.
Right.
But in this particular fight, in my opinion, Usyk got hit on the belt line, and you know how belts, we use different signals or different signs, the belly button, the hip, whatnots, and how wide the belt is. Go ahead and explain that.
The problem with this was that, again, you had folks saying, you know, that was a low blow and the referee should have did this and that. And I looked at it, and I looked at it again, and then I looked at it again. And what I saw was, the punch did land on the belt, but it was under the belt line. And the way you could tell that is you could see the trunks rise up.
Yes.
Which meant that the punch was coming up.
Yes.
Okay. And in the referee's opinion, seeing that and seeing those trunks rise up, that's why he determined that it was going to be a low blow.
Right.
Figuring that if it had been on the belt itself, the trunks wouldn't move.
Yes.
Okay. And that was the difference. And a lot of times it is these little bitty things that make all the difference in the world. And I tell, especially young referees, I always tell them, you know, it's not the big things that set you apart. It's your ability to look at the little things, because those are the things that really set you apart. And those are the things that make all the difference in the world.
Makes all the difference in the world. And up until that punch, all the punches that were thrown were to the body. And then you get one stray that hits the belt line, I felt was appropriate to rule it.
And if you're watching the fight, there were several times during the course of that fight where Dubois was hitting Usyk on the hip, on the side, and you know that can be just as damaging as a punch straight on.
Yes.
You know, because it'll hit that cup and cause a little pinching action going on down there in the groin area, and it's not comfortable.
Right.
You know. So, you know, the bottom line is that the referee is the closest one to see it.
And that's his call.
Yep. And he made the call, and I think, though, he made that call based upon some of the things that we've talked about when he saw it.
Yeah.
Because all low blows are not the same.
Are not the same.
Yeah.
And then Usyk ultimately went to work and eventually took Dubois out, took him out.
And the thing about it is that it's going to be Usyk Dubois 2, and we'll see if the first fight was just, you know, we'll see if this is going to be an extension of the first fight or how it's going to be.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about, you know, not what was, but what's going to be.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Now, there's another little fight out there. There's a lot of young fighters.
There's a lot of
we got a good crop of
There's
young
a lot
fighters.
of good ones out there. Yes, it is.
And this kid, Andy Cruz, Cuban kid, gold medal winner. He showcased exactly what some of these young guys are nowadays. He fought a veteran, Japanese veteran, Mishihiro.
Yes.
And whoo, this kid did. There was nothing that this kid did in this fight that changed my mind that he is definitely on the upward path.
Yes. We're gonna see more about him.
Oh, absolutely.
We are.
Yeah.
And Mishihara, I felt sorry for him. He had all the heart in the world. He
Yes,
continued to come forward. He continued to get hit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you just got to just give him all the credit for a loser.
Yeah.
But he fought his heart out, and
yeah.
If he can develop his skills a little more and not get hit as much as he got hit, use some angle, do something to prevent your opponent from hitting you as much, because we know he can take a punch, but that ain't the point of the game. Is it going in? Take it.
Yeah.
The point is hit and not get hit.
True that. And the other thing about this kid is that, he's not your typical Cuban fighter. I mean, they like box moves, take. He does a little sticking and moving, but this kid wants to mix it. He wants to hurt you.
Yes.
And I mean, and the other thing that there's similarities in this kid. They're talking about sponsoring him or moving him up to fight for a world title, and he's had less than 8 fights.
Yes.
Sort of like Lomachenko.
Like Lomachenko.
Beautiful, wonderful amateur record, which both of them did.
Yes.
Gold medal winners from the Olympics.
Yes.
And fighting for titles in their first 3 fights, because he won like an interim title, I think, in his first fight. You know, and he'll be fighting for a world title in less than 8 fights.
Yeah.
Now, people, he's too soon. Well, we'll see.
Yeah. It could be too soon. We'll never know. It wasn't too soon when Leon Spinks fought Muhammad Ali, and like you said, Lomachenko. When he fought, he only had 8, but Lomachenko had an extended amateur program, and Leon, same thing. He won the gold medal in the Olympics, etc. So you never know.
Yeah.
But then the question you ask when you put them in that fight that you're questioning is when Canelo fought Mayweather.
Yeah.
I mean, Canelo had I think he was over 30-0 at the time, but that didn't make no difference when he got in the ring with Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're saying about this kid. They're saying they want to match him against Morataga. I think I'm saying that right. And we know that Morataga is a tough guy. I mean, so the difference in this, if they did match these 2 kids, I think what would be the difference is that it might be a little too soon because Morataga has fought more experienced guys. I mean, he fought like Tevin Farmer, and that was a heck of a fight. So it might be a little bit too soon, but the bottom line is the outlook is good for the kid if they move him correctly.
Yes.
If they move him correctly.
Yes. And we don't know what a state of mind Cruz is in. I mean, a lot of fighters, they want to take certain fights because they got a family to feed.
Well, yeah.
And if the manager is saying to the fighter, no, we need to not move so fast, but yet the fighter is saying, well, they're gonna pay me. Well, I would like to. I think I can be. So you get a little conflict there.
Yeah.
always plays a part too, as
Yeah.
far as if he gets moved too soon or if he doesn't get moved, it's the logistics that
Right. Yeah.
that makes the difference. Yeah.
Yeah. True that.
Yeah.
True that. Now, what about this kid Hitchens?
Hitchens is very good. Very good.
Well,
That super lightweight, that 140 weight, yeah. IBF, all the glimmer and the glamour and everything that surrounds his abilities and the body shots that he throws.
kill the body, head fall.
There's another good one coming. I'm telling you, there's another good one coming.
Yeah.
I think he can make some noise, Byrd.
All right. Well, that's I'm kind of excited because there's so many young, talented fighters out there.
Yes.
Now, the question obviously is going to be, you got these young, talented guys, but are they going to be matched? Because that's what people want to see. They want to see the best fighting the best. And, this was a good test for this kid. Cambosa was no slouch.
Right.
Okay, and this fight was more competitive than a lot of people thought it was going to be.
Right.
Cambosa didn't come to pick up a paycheck.
Right.
He didn't come to lay down.
No, he didn't.
He fought through a lot of hurt. He showed a lot of courage, a lot of heart. He was competitive, but Hitchens was just too much for him.
Yes.
But again, Kenny, these fights recently, they showcase what people really want. Yeah. They showcase not only what people want to see, but what they pay to see.
Yes.
And I think we're on the right path, and I hope we continue along that path.
Yeah. But you know what, Byrd, I kind of like the drama of stretching it out and don't give the fans what they want so fast. Angelo Dundee said this when Leonard and was it Leonard and Hearns? Leonard Hearns. Mm-hmm. He said, let's don't let them fight so soon. Let's
let it marinate.
Let it marinate. Well, the word he used was let us let it get juicy. Get so juicy that you just follow. You can't see straight. You're falling over your chair. And I kind of like that because then when the fight does get signed, it's on now. Because, And I'm not saying that it should wait too long where you just mad and upset and frustrated.
Yeah.
But get it to marinate. Let it get juicy.
Yeah.
And then the fans will appreciate it more.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, there's some out there. Now, what they're talking about is this kid fighting Teofimo.
Yes.
Well, if he fought Teofimo, my take is that Teofimo in that fight, Teofimo would be more inclined to battle.
Yes.
Now, if he fought Haney, I think Haney would be more inclined to stick and move and move.
Yes.
So it depends on if he fought one of these, what fight are you going to get?
That's right.
Right.
Do you want to fight a guy that's you ain't got to find?
Yeah.
And Teofimo, you ain't got to worry about finding him.
Right.
Because Teofimo's coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So your training regimen, everything is got to be geared to have knowing that guy's going to be right in front of you.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like you said, with
Haney.
Haney. With Haney, Yeah, Haney is going to move a little bit more. He's a little more craftier. He's going to make you work to find him.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when you do find him, expect something that's coming at you.
Yeah, yeah. But
that's
you know
Haney.
what? But I want that. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Yes, sir.
That's what I want.
Yep.
Now, there's another fight on the horizon that it's hard for me to get into.
Yeah.
But Jake Paul against Julio Chavez Jr. Now, for me, it really gets down to which Chavez Jr. is going to show up.
That's right.
Because he has been known in the past to blow up in weight, let me, just to be put it simple, lazy. He's just lazy, and that's sad because he's got a tremendous background in the business, okay?
Yes.
His father, El Gran Champion,
Yes.
So he's got access to the greatest of facilities and access to some of the best minds in the game.
Yes.
He's fought some tough fights, okay? Few tough fights. Which Chavez Jr. is going to show up?
Not only which Chavez Jr. is going to show up, I want to back up a little bit because for the many years that Daddy, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. fought in Las Vegas, I was amazed at the warrior mentality that he had when he was in the ring.
Yeah.
To me, Senior is the greatest heavyweight champ, in my opinion.
No, wait, welterweight.
Welterweight.
Yeah, right.
Yes, in my opinion. The greatest.
Yeah.
Because he was 94-0 at one point before he lost to Frankie Randall. But anyway, everyone always looks at their kids coming up because back in the day when Senior, all the people in his camp would have the red Chavez band on their forehead. His son had that same the little ribbon on his forehead. So I know has watched many of his dad's fights in the ring. Yeah. And if his dad passed anything down to Senior, and that was to have that warrior mentality. So you bring up the fact that he goes up and down in weight. They've labeled him as being lazy, and it's kind of a sad thing to see, especially with the dad being the warrior that the dad is.
Right.
And will he be in shape? When was the last time he fought?
Yeah.
We know what Jake Paul has done because all his fights are pay-per-view.
Well, the thing but see, the other part of that for me is and I admit, Jake Paul has gotten better.
Yes.
He's gotten better. But it's difficult for me to wrap myself around Jake Paul being a legitimate fighter, in the vein of most of the fighters that we work with. So
yes.
So the question would be if a Chavez Jr., with all the background and all the stuff that he has going for him, can't beat a Jake Paul.
Yeah. I understand exactly what you're saying, and I would hate to make a prediction as far as who would win this fight, but I would lean more toward Jake Paul. I would, simply because what we just said in reference to he's improved somewhat. I don't know what Chavez has done in the last few years. I believe his last fight was in Arizona. Was it Canelo? Did he fight Canelo?
No, no.
Who did he fight? Oh yeah. It was the brother that fought Canelo. Can't think of his name.
Yeah.
But anyway, I quite frankly, I just don't have the confidence to say that Chavez can go in there and mix it up with him enough.
Well, yeah, and the thing,
make me believe that he could do some damage to Jake Paul.
Well, I think it's really going to come down to how serious Chavez Jr. is going to be about this, how industriously he's going to train and prepare himself for it. Because, like I said, he's lazy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at least that's the label that's been put on him, that he's lazy.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Turkey apparently has announced that Dana White will be the promoter for the Canelo Terrence Crawford fight. Now, apparently, it's supposed to be he's co-promoting it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, or is he going to be the promoter?
Well, what I'm hearing is that he has ceded promotion to Dana White, but my gut tells me that this is a co-promotion.
Okay.
That's how I see it. And frankly, it's not a bad move.
It's not a bad
because no one can question Dana White's ability to promote. Because he's done marvelous job with the UFC.
Yes.
I mean, you know, he's promoted the heck out of the UFC, and the UFC has only grown exponentially every year. So can he promote? Yeah, he can.
Yes.
Would it be a bad thing for him to be the promoter in this fight? No, I don't think so. I think that I think it'll work.
Yeah, I think it'll work, and it'll work because of the two compadres that are going to be in the ring.
Thank you.
That's going to work.
Yeah.
So so you look at that.
The fight almost promotes itself.
That's my point.
Yeah, this fight is almost going to promote itself because the two people that are involved. Everybody wants to see this fight.
Everybody wants to see it.
So it's a no-brainer, and it's an easy promotion.
It's an easy
for whoever
promotion.
Promotes it.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
And you know, we've seen over the years fighters go up in weight, and for Terrence going up from 147 to 160. I don't know if in the contract they're going to have any stipulations on after the weigh-in how much, and it's going to be more on Canelo, how much he can rehydrate. Because I've heard that he has rehydrated up as more as 12, 15 pounds, which would obviously make him the bigger fighter in the ring. Right. Now, Terrence is going to be taller and have a longer reach, et cetera, et cetera. But as far as size and that could be an issue.
Yeah. Well, you know, more and more, we're going to see what's going on in this fight. As time goes on, how, especially how Terrence is moving up, how he's putting on the weight, because his frame can only take so much weight.
Yes.
Okay, and so And that's a real issue in this fight. Can Terrence talent override Canelo's weight? And Canelo's got pretty fast hands too.
Yes, he does.
So can this talent outweigh whatever Canelo's going to bring to the table in terms of his weight and power?
Yeah.
So that's what I see.
Well, Canelo has already experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
He moved up.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was Bavo.
Yeah.
He fought and lost.
Yep.
Because he moved up too much.
Yep.
The more you move up, the harder hitting guy you're going to have to deal with.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Recently, gentleman Showbiz, his umpire had said that Turkey Al-Sheikh has said that in the future he doesn't want to be dealing with fighters who just run around. So he basically what he wants to come up with is a no running rule. Okay. And my take on that is you got to be careful. Because there's a difference between running and sticking and moving. Okay. And the classics of that is Pernell Whitaker.
Exactly.
Stick and move. Floyd Mayweather. Stick and move. But you know what? Both of those had to overcome was people saying they just run. They just run all night.
Right.
And that just ain't. There's a difference between sticking and moving and just flat running.
Right.
Okay. So when you come up with a no running rule, you got to be careful how you toss that into the pot.
And you're right, because when you look at the history of our sport, has there been a fighter that has kind of ran around in the ring and not do anything, and the referee cautioned him to fight or do something, but just running around ain't doing it? But like you said, it is a thin line, because if a fighter's style dictates that that's what he does, everybody is not a come forward fighter.
Thank you.
Everybody is not a stick and move. Everybody is not a counter. Fighters come in with their different styles. And to eliminate a particular style is like saying, we don't want any southpaws to fight anymore. We want everybody to be a conventional fighter, because that's going to bring more action in the ring.
Yeah.
And
well,
you just.
And the thing that you have done, I have done it, any competent referee will have done it, is if there is nothing going on. You've done it, I've done it. We have said, listen, guys, this is the fight.
Yes.
Let's fight.
Yes.
Work.
Yes.
Let's go to work.
Yes.
We do that. We encourage them to do that, to engage, because it's a fight.
It's a fight.
That's what we do.
Yes.
But you can't take a fighter out of their comfort zone. Okay, sticking and moving and throwing punches is very different than just sticking and moving and doing nothing. That's the difference.
That's the difference.
Doing nothing.
Yes.
As opposed to sticking and moving while you're doing something.
What if a fighter gets hurt and he needs for a couple of rounds be on his toes to clear his head?
Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay won.
Yeah, we're talking. And you got to move around because you got to clear your head. What does it say about that now?
Yeah.
So, like you said, that's a thin line. That's
right.
Too thin of a line, if you ask me. But It is what it is.
Yeah, it is. But there's a way to deal with it, and a competent referee will do that.
Yes.
And you saw that in that fight.
Yes.
You saw the referee saying to them, "Let's engage more."
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So it's not it's not as germane an issue as some people might want it to be.
Right. Right. Do you take a point because the guy is starting to move around now? Do you give him a caution or a warning because he's moving around now, and he has his reasons for why he chooses to change up? He might be another good one with Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard. The first fight.
Yes, it was.
Everybody was expecting Tommy. No one saw Tommy move around in the ring and stay away after he got hurt. So,
yeah. Well, Kenny.
Yes, sir.
So good to have you back, my buddy.
I'm glad to be back, brother.
I'm telling you. But listen, I'm happy to have you back. I'm looking forward to, us moving forward. And I just want to say to all of the folks out there, this is something that we, Kenny and I, really enjoy doing. And like we made a promise to you when we first started out, we promised you that what we wanted to do was bring you into the ring, into our mind and into the ring with us. And I can promise you that we are moving forward. That's what we're going to do. We're going to tell you what the job of a boxing referee is. We're going to take you behind the scenes. We're going to take you into the ring with us. We're going to make you more a part of us.
And thank you for tuning in to the official call.
And to join our official squad, please subscribe below.